Hi everyone, I'm Danielle with Trinity Readings. We are going to do a Capricorn energy reading. I intended for this to be a January energy reading, but we're already a week into January, so it's just going to be overall energy whenever you come across this message or this reading. There is likely a message in here for you. So do keep in mind that these are general readings, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you find that the reading doesn't resonate, you can always check your moon, rising, or Venus placements because sometimes those will resonate more. And I do offer personal readings. You can get all that information in the description box. All right, Capricorn. We are in Capricorn season, and if I'm not mistaken, Mercury and Venus and Mars are all in Capricorn also. So you probably feel very much in your element right now. It's all very grounded energy. I feel like it's important during heavy Capricorn season that you be careful that you're not taking on too many responsibilities, but that you're also taking accountability for what holds meaning to you. So let's see, what is it that your higher self and your guides are wanting you to know right now? What do you need to know in regards to your current energy? I feel like being very direct right now is going to yield the best results. Being as direct as you possibly can. Not to the point, obviously, of being, you know, completely detached, but like just getting to the point, being more direct in conversations. And you might feel that has been like a turnoff for other people in the past, or that hasn't been always received very well, but I kind of feel like it's needed for you. It kind of feels like you are you're like the grounded one right now. You're the stable one right now. And that doesn't mean that you need to take on everybody else's messes, because it feels like you have a lot of people kind of like, it feels like everyone around you is kind of like spinning in circles, and you don't need to take on all of that responsibility. But by being more direct with everybody about what your needs are, what your expectations are, where your focus is, I feel like that will help kind of just reel everything in. And I feel like that's something that might be valuable for you to pay attention to, that maybe you're dealing with somebody who is just genuinely lost or spinning in circles in their head, in their own head. Like if you're looking to somebody else to do something or follow through, like it almost feels like they're just not even on the same level as you. Let me see if there's any clarification to that message. It's like I feel like you're dealing with somebody and you both are kind of like talking over each other or talking around each other. Like both of you are having like two different conversations. And what it boils down to is that you're both approaching this from two completely different levels of experience. All right, let me see if there's any further insight. So I kind of feel like you might be expecting a lot from somebody who is like very inexperienced. And it could very well be that their inexperience is that they have no idea what your expectations are. Like they don't see you as being in the space that you are or wanting the same thing as them. But it could also be that you are expecting something really big out of somebody who, again, is like inexperienced. Like they're not even close to being at the bar that maybe you need them to meet you at. Like it kind of feels like you might be doing all of the work in this. And that's not what this is supposed to be. Because I feel it feels like you're meant to be on the receiving end, but you're still like stuck doing all the work, or you feel like you're stuck doing all the work. Yeah, I just kind of feel like I feel like you're dealing with like a lot of uncertainty within a connection that you have to another person. This doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic connection, but it does seem to be a connection that there needs to be some sort of structure put to it. like this relationship is affecting other areas of your life. Like it's important for something to be addressed in this. But it's like it feels like either you and this person are kind of like talking around each other or talking over each other. And it's like if you just were to kind of deal with this in a more direct way. Like I said, for some of you, I feel like you're dealing with a person who has no idea what your needs, like what your expectations are. Like you're wanting or needing or expecting something out of them, and they have no clue. And you might feel like you have relayed that to them, but it's like, again, it's like talking over each other. And it's like, be more receptive to what it is that you are actually dealing with this person. Not that you have to bend, not that you have to lower the bar. It's not anything like that, but be more receptive to what you're actually dealing with this person. There's also this message that the problem can't be resolved if it's not out on the table, like up for discussion. Like if it's not even out in the open, how can it be resolved? All right, let me see if we can get more clarity on this message and see how this is showing up for you. It feels like the focus for you this month is going to be being open to new ways of communicating your desires and just communicating your truth overall, but communicating in a way that ensures that your happiness is your priority. Does that make sense? To assure that you are getting what you want out of all of this. And I don't mean for that to sound selfish, but examining new ways of, and I want to like stress this. I don't feel that you don't communicate correctly. I just feel that in the past, you have dealt with people that when you did communicate your truth or communicate your desires or your feelings or whatnot, that this person made you feel that that was not, that was overwhelming or that was too much or it wasn't received well. And so you learned or you adapted to that and started toning down the way that you communicate your desires, or you felt that you had to, you couldn't be too direct with people because it would be off-putting. But I feel like this is a brand new experience. And I kind of feel like the person that you're dealing with, like, is learning as they go, if that makes sense. Or they're willing to learn. They don't feel that they have it all figured out, if that makes sense. There's also this energy of like directly asking for what you want and actually getting it and being like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? It's like a weird thing, like but that's the energy that you're in. It's like you're connecting to different people, or you're connecting to people in a different, like you're connecting to people that are more open to meeting you where you are. Because, okay, you are a Capricorn, okay? And so Capricorn is the energy that can lean towards like restriction and being stuck. And so what you need to know is that that's always going to be a cue to what's going on with you internally. And so if all of a sudden things appear to be stuck or slowing down or coming to a standstill, and that's not where you want it to be, then it's quite possible that the slowing down is an opportunity for you to reevaluate, like kind of like reevaluate your approach or reevaluate your surroundings, reevaluate the balance of the give and take, right? And that's not to say that you're doing something wrong, and it's not to say that you need to keep adjusting and readjusting yourself for another person, but it's more like, am I on the path of what I want? Am I on the path of what's going to give me fulfillment, right? Am I communicating my needs and desires effectively, or am I holding myself back because of past experiences? Things slowing down or coming to a halt for you is also going to be a sign that something is not balanced, that there's something in your life that is excessive. It could be that you're working too much. It could be that you're overthinking too much. It could mean that you are taking on too much responsibility. It could mean not taking on enough responsibility, right? But it's going to be a cue to you that there's something that's out of balance that you need to kind of just scan over and say, what is there too little of right now, or what is there too much of, and how can I bring balance to that? Yeah, because the Temperance card, like, you're meant to be flowing with this. And I also feel that you're in the process of integrating something together in your life. So that could be a new relationship. It could be evolving within your current relationship. It could be even just like a new way of being, a new confidence in yourself, a new career. But this has already flown, this has already come into your experience. Now you're just learning to integrate it in. Yeah, I feel like emotionally you might be kind of like anticipating loss or embracing for a loss, or you've experienced a lot of loss in the past. And you might even feel that within this connection, you're not necessarily feeling fulfilled. You might be feeling unsupported within the connection with this person. You might even feel that this person has kind of turned their back on you. But again, I do feel that having a more direct conversation, even just like to see where you both are, I feel like that would benefit. I also feel that it would help within the communication, especially if it's a new connection, or the connection, there's a lot of sensitive emotions within the connection. It would be more beneficial to not so much focus on the words and what needs to be communicated or how often there's communication, but more the mood and the feeling and the way that things are flowing. And again, be receptive to what this person is reflecting to you, because I feel like they are reflecting like a lot of inexperience, or just kind of like they're wobbly, right? They're not as certain, they're not as sure. And not that you need to take the responsibility, but your guidance is King of Cups, and that's focusing on it's focusing on your emotional needs. Just like checking in where you are with your emotional world. I also feel like there's a really strong message to have some compassion for yourself. Um, like I feel like you might be like really overly critical of yourself, um, or even like not wanting to let yourself feel too much or feel too much emotion. But I feel like it's important for you to honor that, because because I feel like that should be the priority at this time, is what is going to give you emotional fulfillment and what your needs are in terms of emotional fulfillment. I also kind of feel like there's a need to release emotional heaviness from the past, and honor how much past emotional stuff may be affecting how you are approaching and perceiving things at this point. I feel like you're in this space of like a brand new beginning. I've been working with this client for a really long time, and she just started dating again. And her last relationship was really a really long relationship, and it was, it was a lot. It was a heavy connection, right? And she just started dating again, and what we have kind of found within that in working together was that a lot of the insecurities that are coming up currently are based on what this one past person did, right? And they're vastly different people, but that's what she's kind of like emotionally bracing for, right? And I feel like kind of like you're dealing with something very similar, and if you can move towards seeing this as something new, seeing this that as something that has a beautiful amount of potential, and learning from the past, right? But not taking the past fears with you, right? In the past, you know, I'm going too far. I don't want to like make this too incredibly long, right? But this is something new. And you, like I said, you don't have to completely dive in, blindfolds on, right? But don't take in past emotional stuff with you, right? I hope that makes sense, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Bye bye.